are starting to get really interesting with U.S. immigration. Can Donald Trump give you a green? Hey guys, before you file for your spouse,
All right. Hey guys, come on in. Type in Freedom Now, Freedom Now. We're going to have our Monday live Q&A. It's so great to see you. If you're joining on Facebook, just give me a like there and certainly share this with your feed. Come on in, guys. Today, we have a lot to talk about. I have some important news to share with you from Tom Homan, the border czar, and two news actually that I'm going to share with you related to things that he's said, plans that they are making in the upcoming days under the new Trump administration. So come on in, say hello, and say where you're watching from. It's so great to see you. Thank you guys for being here. Hey there, Ruth. Good to see you as usual. Thank you guys. Hey, Kweku. I mention you almost every week. Hey, Rose. Rose is watching from Schenectady, New York. Guys, we're here for you. Contact us at McBean Law to go deeper about your immigration case, all right, about the immigration problem. Today, I will only be able to answer a few questions as usual, but if you have a problem, work with us on your problem or a credible attorney who you trust, okay? Hey there, from Nigeria is in the house. Hello, hello. I hope you guys had a terrific weekend. We can be reached at McBean Law at 914-898-9488. Excellent. And one of my colleagues is moderating, so I ask that you do not spam us or bully. Okay, don't bully anyone today. Otherwise, you will be banned from this channel. All right, thank you guys. Let's get into it. As far as, let's see. The first issue or news that we need to talk about is the fact that Tom Homan said recently that they have no plans to do workplace or work site raids. Okay, he denied the fact that, there's a lot of rumors circulating out there, particularly on TikTok and other forums, about upcoming workplace raids that ICE will be doing. He said recently in an MSN article that the Trump transition team isn't making plans to conduct work site raids targeting illegal immigrants in Washington, D.C. after the inauguration. And he said specifically, I can tell you we've got no plans for that. I talked to the incoming team. No one knows anything about this. The Trump administration plans, and this is something that he and others have been saying, that they plan to prioritize deporting criminal illegal immigrants and individuals who already have a removal order by an immigration judge, and that's estimated to be between 1 and 2 million people. Now, there are 7,000 ICE officers nationwide, and those officers typically conduct the data that I'm looking at here from this article, I see so many different numbers. Okay, so you might have heard something differently, 250,000 deportations annually. Homan acknowledged that there would be a lot of collateral arrests, particularly in sanctuary cities where local law enforcement do not cooperate with ICE. He said, in sanctuary cities, expect a lot of collateral arrests. Now, what is he talking about, collateral arrests? He says, well, I mean, not priority criminal arrests. We can't get the bad guy in jail. That means we have to go into the communities and find them, and there may be others. So what he is alluding to here, guys, is the fact that if these sanctuary cities are not cooperating with ICE to tell ICE who is in the jail, right, then ICE will just go out into the community and try to figure out things on their own. And by trying to figure out things on their own through targeted enforcement activities, well, other individuals who do not have a criminal record might be swept up and caught up in those types of community activities. So from his standpoint, it would be better for these communities to cooperate, these sanctuary cities to cooperate with ICE to ensure that they're actually detaining the criminal aliens. Then secondly, guys, you might have heard about this, and I have a TikTok circulating about the fact that he is proposing a hotline, a telephone hotline to report suspected criminal aliens. In a New York Post article, it says that this is a fresh idea being evaluated by the Trump transition team. And Tom Homan is proposing the creation of a hotline for Americans to report migrants suspected of committing crimes. And he says that I want a place where American citizens can call and report. This hotline idea raises a lot of flags to a lot of people, because the question is, well, are they going to just call this hotline to report their neighbors who they see every day and the neighbors aren't involved in any criminal activity? Or will Americans or U.S. citizens really call the hotline when they've seen or know of a crime that an illegal alien has committed? Guys, still bad idea with respect to this hotline. The government has ways of finding out who's who and what they've done. So let the government do its job. Now, with that being said, I'm going to turn now to your immigration questions. And I want to encourage you to stay plugged in. Stay plugged in, because I'm sharing a lot of information on this channel. And as a matter of fact, on Saturday, we have a trending video right now, trending on Google and YouTube and everywhere, about how the Saturday video was about protecting yourself in the event ICE catches you. What are your rights? Knowing your rights, okay? I don't have the exact title in front of me of Saturday's live session, but just know that session is critical. I went through various scenarios about what you should do if you're in your car and you're stopped by ICE. What should you do if you're at home and they come to your home? What should you do if it's the police versus ICE? Watch that workshop, very informative, and that was on Saturday. And then today we have another video coming out on this channel for you about how to locate someone who is picked up by ICE. Okay, very practical, short 5-minute video about what you should do if one of your loved ones or friends is picked up by ICE. How do you find out where they're at? So watch today's video, and don't forget to follow me on social media, on Instagram primarily, and Facebook, where I do share other short videos. Thank you, short reels. Now let's get into your immigration questions, okay? Thank you. Someone says that was a great video on Saturday. Yes, thank you for saying that. Thank you for watching it, Nelson. It's called ICE Raids. ICE raids are coming in 2025, and really how to protect yourself from deportation. Now let's get into your questions. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Let me go up here a little bit to see who, let's see. Someone is asking, is it normal to be waiting 2+ years for an F2B interview? Kamisha is asking, yes, it is normal. In the visa bulletin for the F2B category, which is the category if you have a parent who is a green card holder who is filing for you and you're you're 21 or older, it takes several years to go through the process there. Now, once your case is ready, which means that a visa is available for you, your priority date has come up, Kamisha, well, then you finish your process at the NVC with your visa application, and then you're going to be documentarily qualified. Whether you should not be waiting 2+ years after that point However, you should be waited maybe a couple of months, or if you're in a place like maybe Ghana, then it's up to a year that you'll be waiting for your interview date. Okay, thank you guys. Now, King says can administratively closed cases with asylum pending and a very clean record get re-detained again under Trump. So King, during the first Trump term, cases that had been administratively closed, there were motions that ICE filed, the DHS attorneys filed during that time to recalendar these cases. So we're expecting that some of these cases will be recalendared, which means they want to proceed with your case. They don't want to keep it on hold for any longer. We're expecting that. And I'm getting this information from a meeting that I had on Friday with the American Immigration Lawyers Association. This is what they're saying as well, that they're expecting that these administratively closed cases, some of them will be recalendared. So work with your lawyer, your immigration lawyer, on the strategy for that asylum case, or if you have any other options for a green card. But as far as being re-detained, no, not re-detained. You don't need to. They won't be focusing on you because you don't have a removal order. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. Someone said, my attorney told me I don't have to be present at the internet-based master hearing for cancellation of removal. Is that something that won't cause me trouble? I'm pretty nervous about it. So I could just speak to you about how we conduct things here. We ask our clients to be at every hearing that the court sets for them. Okay, whether it's a master calendar hearing or not, right? We want our clients there. But I do know that in some cases, some attorneys do not have the client there at the master calendar and internet-based or WebEx hearing. That's not something that we do here at McBean Law. We really want our client to be at every hearing. And if it's an internet-based hearing, great. You could stay at home in your living room and be part of your hearing. That's our approach, okay? Thank you. I have a question. Can an undocumented person with a petition present travel to another state? Right now, you can travel around the United States. Let me just turn this down a little. I forgot to turn down my mic before I started. I was really loud on Saturday when I listened to the playback. I thought, oh, my ear. Right, so let me just turn this down. Okay, so you can travel, okay, today. But my tip on travel might or will change in the near future if TSA gets different directives from the Trump administration to ask you certain questions, to look for certain documentation, or to prohibit people from traveling who do not have a certain ID. They're going to potentially come up with all sorts of things to make your life really more difficult. So, but as of today, yes, you can still travel around the United States using a document that TSA told you that you can use, okay? I thought they were conducting interviews. Should I be scared if I get an interview date? It's understandable that you would be afraid to go in for an interview. I'm not sure what kind of interview you're talking about. Is it a USCIS interview? Is it an embassy interview? What is this interview that you're talking about here? If you're ever nervous about appearing for an interview to USCIS, you have a right to bring a lawyer with you. If you have to check in with ICE and you're really nervous about that, you can seek to bring an attorney with you to your check-in, okay? And there are times when we do that for our clients. We have to go with them to an ICE check-in if it's allowed. But you could speak with us about whether that's something that that we can do for you. Hey there, Freedom Now, Freedom Now, Freedom Now. How is the volume? By the way, guys, our office is based right next to a firehouse. Hey, wonderful. So, yeah. Can they hear? Okay, so I was told that you heard just a little bit of the fire truck leaving. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hello, hello. My colleague has shared a TikTok, a link to a video that I did on TikTok about Tom Homan with the Hotline issue. If you'd like to do that, just go over to TikTok at McBean Immigration Law and watch that video. All right, let's see. I am married to a U.S. citizen. Can I get my status fixed? Arabelle is asking. Arabelle, you have a right to have your spouse file for you and to get a green card. So you can, I don't know how you entered the United States. If you entered the United States with a visa and you've overstayed, you can do adjustment of status. If you entered without inspection, adjustment of status isn't possible, but there's still a process that you can follow to get your green card through your spouse. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Type in freedom now. It's so good to see you. It says that there are, 533 people on today. Thank you so much for being here at this time with me. Terrific. Thank you. Freedom now. Freedom now. Thank you. Let's keep going. Okay. So Nana says, I'm a green card holder out on bond. Okay, can I get picked up by ICE again, even though I'm currently working with a lawyer on my case? Now, Nana most likely has a criminal record or a criminal issue. Something is going on the criminal side. It looks like he was trying to finish that thought about about the criminal issue. This is a green card holder, and you are you're on the radar. You were picked up once by ICE. You're working with your lawyer. You're probably in removal proceedings by this point, Nana. And if you're in removal proceedings, then the immigration judge will handle your case, and ICE isn't. You're not the major focus for them to pick up again because you're already in an active removal proceeding. Okay. If you have your lawyer. I wish you well with that case. Thank you. Thank you. Freedom now, guys. Again, reach out to us at McBean Law. I have pinned our phone number there. It's 914-898-9488. Our consultation fee is mine is $300 and $250 with my colleagues. I had consultations here this morning, and I have a few more to do this afternoon after this live. And my colleagues also, they've been meeting with you. So come on in and get your matter looked at by our team. Let's see. Let's go down. Tom is asking whether a 601A waiver can protect him from removal. He has a removal order. Tom, you're trying to get your case, your status straightened out. It's hard for me to say that 601A will protect you. What's on your record? Where are you in your process to get things cleaned up? Are you in process to get that removal case reopened? Do you have something currently filed and is pending to reopen that removal case? Those are the questions that I would be asking during a consultation to further advise you. Let's see. Someone says that I have been waiting since 2007 for my F4 category. Is that normal? Yes, it is, because in that sibling category, it takes like 13 to 15 years on average. And for other countries, it takes even longer. And I don't have another monitor here in front of me. I'm standing up, right? So I cannot go into the visa bulletin right now to see what they're up to. I think they might be up to 2010. I could be wrong, but you can check that for yourself. Just Google visa bulletin for January and look at your category. But yes, it's normal. It's a lengthy wait. How long does it take for VAWA to be approved? VAWA normally takes about 3 years to be approved. Thank you, Anne Marie. It's great to see you. Thank you. Okay, so Esmond, what is Biden doing regarding PPP? I'm drawing a blank. Esmond, why did you do this to me? What is he talking about, PPP? Are you talking about parole in place, PIP? For some reason, I'm drawing a blank. I don't know what you're talking about, but so as far as if this is parole in place, then you should know that USCIS is issuing refunds of the filing fees. And for some people, the refund is going directly to them through a check from the U.S. Treasury, or for others, it goes to the attorney, and then the attorney has to turn it around and get you that refund. Does the consular officer adjudicate an immigrant case based on discretion? There is some degree of discretion, of course, that they could exercise as they're doing their work. Whether you could meet certain, eligibility criteria under the statute, but there is a degree of, may I have that? Thank you. There is a degree of, I don't think it can't be that. There's a degree of discretion that they're exercising. Paycheck protection program. I'm not sure what, I don't even know what that is. Let's see. Can a felony attack be considered for a U visa? Yes, absolutely. A felonious assault can be used, can be a U visa, the basis for a U visa case. Let's see, let's keep going. Type in freedom now, guys. It's good to see you. Thank you for being with me today during this live session. Waiting for an asylum interview for 6 years now. I'm in New York State. Is there an approximate time that I should expect to be called? So everyone across the country is facing a significant wait with asylum cases. You can get a lawyer on the job to see whether they can put in a request to that asylum office to wake them up and remind them that you have a case that's pending with them. That you could also file a lawsuit, because truly, we know that at the pace that some of these asylum offices are working, they may never get to your case. That's really what's going on. So you have to be a little bit more aggressive to force them now to remember that you have a case with them. A lot of people are waiting for many years for an interview. You can reach out to us for further discussion about next steps. Okay, so someone says the judge denied, of course, without a hearing, my motion to reopen. They don't usually there is no hearing that's attached to the motion to reopen. It's an administrative process due to an order of removal in absentia 20 years ago. What should I do? You can get a second opinion. We would want to look at what was submitted on your behalf, what was argued in that motion to reopen. But the thing is this, if the government denies you can't go forward with a green card process, obviously, when you have this removal case. Most people, they cannot do anything further with immigration until they get that removal order resolved. You can just get a second opinion, and we'll take a look at that to see what if we can do another one for you. It's very difficult. It's a very complex case, particularly if it went to the immigration judge. It's really, really difficult. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it and make it sound like this is an easy process, because it really is not. You could just get a second opinion. Let's see. Let's see. TPS. Let's see. Did President Biden extend a work permit for all TPS holders? Martina is asking. No, he has not. I didn't see any I didn't see any news today about anything of that nature. What Biden did last week is that he extended TPS until the end of October for 3 countries, and then the 4th country, it's until the end of September 2026. So that's all that he did. It's about 1 million people now who will be protected from fast deportation during the incoming Trump administration. That's all that he did. He just gave that extension to those 4 countries: Venezuela, Ukraine, El Salvador, and Sudan. I have not seen anything about Haiti or any other countries, Liberia, Cameroon. I have not seen anything yet, but certainly if it does happen, I will share that information with you. I petitioned for my sister 12 years ago, nothing yet. Pam, 13 to 15 years, you're getting closer. I don't know what country your sister is from, but you're getting much closer. There's a significant backlog. Let's see. Is everything different or harder for a person with DACA trying to apply for a green card versus a person who doesn't have DACA? Kimberly, I would say the one challenging and different thing that DACA holders may face is if they enter the country without inspection. Okay, if there's no proof of how you came to America, that's the one big issue that DACA holders face when they're trying to get a green card. And so in those instances, in order to finish the process and get the green card, you would need to go to a U.S. embassy abroad. There are other DACA holders who have proof of their entry, yes, and we've worked with some of them. They have had a visa, and they were able to adjust their status here in the United States. Is there a chance that Trump, can come after naturalized citizens? If so, how long will that take? So I have some videos out there about denaturalization. I really went into a lot of details, more so than many other people. So really sit down, decide I'm going to spend about 45 minutes with McBean today learning about denaturalization, and just go through those videos. And what you will hear me say is that denaturalization is very rare. It's really complex. However, when the government go through that denaturalization process, they win more than 90-something% of the time. They have a good, solid case, but it is very rare. Yes, there are threats that they will rev that up, and I do believe that they will rev it up, but it will take more lawyers, more resources. It's sometimes very difficult and lengthy to do the investigation of during a denaturalization process. So it takes time. For some people, it might even take some years. So, do not worry too much about denaturalization. If you believe that you really have a strong reason to worry about denaturalization, absolutely run those concerns by an immigration lawyer who will then be able to balance things out for you and put things into perspective. But please do not worry so much about denaturalization. All right. They're not going to go after everyone who committed fraud during the naturalization process or green card process, but they will go after some people. Okay. I have a question about overstaying on the C1D Visa. What am I supposed to do? If you have an opportunity for a green card, it will direct you to the U.S. embassy or consulate abroad. And so you will need a waiver before you leave. And once you get that waiver approved, then you'll have to go back to the embassy. That is currently the pathway in place right now for those who entered with the C1D Visa. Freedom now. Thank you, Angela, for that reminder. Freedom now. Freedom now. Thank you. Again, we're reachable at 914-898-9488. let's see. Can an undocumented person adjust their status if they're in the United States for about 10 years without a criminal case and has a green card holder spouse? So you have a green card holder spouse, you've overstayed, and you'll need a waiver. You'll either need to have that waiver approved and then go back home for that embassy process, or your spouse will need to become a U.S. citizen, and then you can do adjustment of status through the U.S. citizen spouse. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you. Type in freedom now, freedom now, freedom now. Thank you. Okay, someone says, my I-601 waiver was filed in July 2022. Can I apply for a non-immigrant inadmissibility waiver to go see my wife and daughter? So, the thing is this, that the waiver that you mentioned is something that is hand delivered to a U.S. embassy on foot in a foreign country, right? So, and then it's in connection to, a visa, right? Now, a temporary visa. So if you're here in the United States, don't make this move, don't do that. But if you're overseas already, which is what I suspect for you, if you're already in your foreign country and you are going through an immigrant process and you went to the U.S. Embassy and they told you need the I-601 waiver, and that's not your facts because you said to go see my wife and daughter. The I-601, they told you need the I-601 waiver. Well, then you wait until that's approved, and then they'll call you back in and finish your green card immigrant process. But I suspect there's some confusion here on your part because I think you're here in the United States to go see my wife and daughter. So there's no non-immigrant inadmissibility waiver connected to that process. I hope this is clear. You're confused. If you want to get further clarity, certainly you could reach out to us for that clarity. Now, it sounds like you're going through a green card process. I would want to know what's going on with your process, because let's go back to the waiver hasn't been approved yet. It was just filed, and you're still waiting on that. If you're here in the United States, if you leave, you're going to trigger the 10-year bar, and it's going to be very hard to come back to the United States. So speak with us one-on-one, because I have myself need some clarity about what you're asking here. Let's see. Let's get back on track. Get back on track. All right. Charles is asking, why are some people unable to get a Bonafide Determination for their U visa case? Well, because they haven't really convinced the government through their initial filing that they might be eligible for the U visa. So that's the primary reason. Let's see. My wife, a U.S. citizen, filed an I-130 petition for me 14 months ago. I haven't received any response yet. There is, so the I-130, I have noticed actually, as of late, that there is a little bit of a slowdown going on with the I-130. Did you work with a lawyer on that case? Did that lawyer look into where USCIS is with these types of I-130 petitions? But 14 months, I don't think that's really even uncommon nowadays. I think that a slowdown has started with the I-130 process. And USCIS, I think they have a much bigger window on their website as far as how long it's taken with these I-130s. But, we've been seeing, for us, honestly, 6 to 9 months for many of our I-130 cases. But, every case is different, certainly. And certainly it depends on the jurisdiction. Thank you. Let's see if I could answer a few more questions before we go today. I see a lot of spam sifting through. Yeah, I have to scroll all the way down because I see a lot of spam. Let's see if I answered that. Okay, so if you enter the United States illegally, but was married for 17 years to a U.S. citizen, can I adjust my status? So if you've been married for 17 years to a U.S. citizen, you probably already know the answer to that question, right? Because, you know, you would have already gotten your green card if you were able to adjust through that spouse. And so the answer is no, you can't adjust through that spouse. The way that some individuals who entered illegally adjust their status if they were married to a U.S. citizen is if there was abuse in that marriage and by that U.S. citizen spouse, then you would be eligible to do a VAWA domestic violence case on your own and get your green card, even though you entered illegally. Okay. My daughter came, let's pull this one up. My daughter came to the U.S. when she was a child. She's now 30 and what does this say? And married. How can she get help? If she's married to a green card holder or a U.S. citizen, that person can file for her. If she's married to someone who does not have status here, then, you know, obviously there's nothing there on the marriage side. We would want to know if she had been a victim of a crime. Would she be eligible for a U visa, even a T visa? We would have to take her through a little evaluation or screening to see if anything else is possible for her outside of marriage. Someone says that they have a biometric scheduled today with the USCIS. Okay, great. You're moving along with your case. Can an immigration judge make a decision without asking to see you in court for an asylum case pending in court for a master and individual court hearing? So the rule is this: if you have a hearing coming up, appear at every single hearing, because when you're not there and your lawyer isn't there, then the judge will issue a removal order against you. So just keep that in mind. Appear at every interview, at every hearing. Let's see. Let's go back down. Okay, so this is the clarification I needed on this one, Tom. Thanks. I have a removal order, and I have a pending I-130. And can I be protected if I file later on a 601A? You're going to need, like I said, your removal case will need to be reopened and terminated. Then you can move things forward. But, you know, right now, with that removal order, it does make you vulnerable, but the I-130 will afford you a little bit of a limited protection right now. What I would want to know in order to fully answer this question is, do you have anything criminal on your record? Okay. Can someone hire you if he or she is detained? So we actually do not work on detainee cases. I've been telling people that if you're detained, work with a local lawyer who could show up at that detention center and get the attorney-client relationship going and try to get you out of detention. We typically work with people who are not detained. So if you had been detained and released and now you need a broader strategy, immigration strategy, we could certainly assist with that. Or if you have a removal order and you need a strategy to get rid of that removal order, we could assist with those types of strategies. But no, we do not represent detainees. Thank you. Freedom now, freedom now. Zach says, I was on your video a few days ago where you said pending asylum case is not any status. Please clarify. So Zach, you just have, individuals who file an asylum application, they're just, you're just in this period where, yes, you could be here and wait for your case to be decided on by our government, but it doesn't mean that you are here, you're in this lawful status that protects you. It's not equivalent to someone who has something like DACA or even TPS, which provides temporary lawful status to individuals. Asylum application does not provide status. And status is something that you could really hold on to. You're just, you're waiting on your asylum case, and that's really it. And so because you don't have a status, USCIS has made the decision from years ago through different policy memos that they don't think that you can adjust your status if you come before them and say, oh, I've just been an asylum applicant all these years, my case was pending and now I want to adjust my status. They won't consider that as a lawful status or lawful period here in the United States for the purposes of adjustment of status. That's truly the best that I could do with this explanation in such a short time. Let's see. Freedom now, freedom now. Okay, let's go. I'm a U.S. citizen. How long will it take to file for my mom? Is your mom here in the United States or is your mom overseas? If she's here in the United States, I think in most places it will be under 12 months for the filing process. If she's overseas, it will be longer than that depending on the U.S. Embassy. But generally, it's a fast process for immediate relatives. Let's see. Someone says that I'm under ICE supervision. I have a pending asylum case. I report to ICE annually. Should I be worried? Sandham, I would say that, you talk with a lawyer and consider even having a lawyer with you at your next check-in. All right? Let's see. Let's go. Freedom now, freedom now, freedom now, freedom now. Yonkers is in the house. Thank you for being here, Karen. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, let's keep going. Oops. Yeah. Let's try to go way down here. Again, guys, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook for daily updates and other tips that I share. If you like TikTok, great, but guess what? TikTok might be going away, very strong possibility. And so it won't hurt us in any way because, we're everywhere else. But get onto Instagram if you'd like to follow me on behind the scenes and to get more information from us. And certainly subscribe to our newsletter. We have a free newsletter. It goes out 4 times a week. McBeanlaw.com/subscribe. Okay? Thank you. Let's see. Some victims can a victim of immigration scam apply for a U visa. For some people, it might be possible. It really depends on your facts, okay? It truly depends on the facts. And we take this particular one, very carefully because just because you were the victim of a scam on the immigration side, it doesn't necessarily mean it rose to a certain level. But some people's case does rise to that level. So contact us. We'd be happy to talk with you about whether you might be eligible for the U visa. Thank you. Okay, If someone knows that he or she will get a 10-year ban if he or she leaves the United States, is there a way to get a waiver, to get a tourist visa? Yes, Sham, there is a way. It's through that a waiver that you hand deliver to the U.S. Embassy on the day of your interview for that tourist visa. We do that type of waiver. Contact us so that we could see whether it makes sense for you to do it. With that type of waiver, guys, just know that the U.S. Embassy is looking to see that you're not going to do this again, that you have strong ties in your home country that is bringing you back to your country. And they want, so some time, I think, needs to pass. You can't go back tomorrow and then you want to show up to the embassy in March or April and say, I'd like to go back and visit the U.S. after being in the U.S. for like the past 5 years, right? It doesn't really work that way. So we will look for certain facts and advise you whether we think now is a good time for you to move forward with an embassy process, or whether you need to kind of like get some roots again in your country, or what the facts are. We'll talk with you about that. Let's see. Thank you. We also have some free resources on our website, free guides. Go to McBeanlaw.com/free and download some of our free guides. Thank you. How much is the cost with your firm to file an application for a spouse to get a green card? Lisa is asking. Lisa, we will need to have a consultation first. I never quote fees in a public forum like this. We would like to learn about the background first, and then we will let you know what the range of fees are. We do a payment plan. You start off with a deposit, and then we'll place you on a payment plan. But we don't file cases until all attorney fees are paid in full. So I think it's important that you also know that part too. Someone says they just got the I-601A approved. Am I at risk? Congratulations on getting that waiver approved. Keep going with your case. Work with a lawyer before you leave the country to make sure that everything is all set to go for your embassy interview so that you could do well and get the visa and come back to the United States. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna ban this person right now. Let's see. Can you apply for a visitor's visa while the F2B application is pending? So you're already going through an immigrant visa process, right? Your intent is to come here permanently. So the U.S. Embassy will know that. And in most cases, they don't like that. And for many people, they say no to a tourist visa application. But have I, over the years, seen and heard and know of people who got their tourist visa approved despite the fact that they have an I-130 in the process? Yes. Yes, I have seen it happen for them. Oh, this is a good question. Am I going to get deported if I get divorced while I'm on a conditional green card? I have all the necessary documents to prove my marriage was real or is real. So no, you're just take a deep breath, because you're in lawful status here in the United States through your conditional green card, and you can get a 10-year permanent green card on your own after your divorce. Of course, you can do it on your own. Now, so just make sure that there won't be a gap between the conditional after your conditional residency expire. You really want to get your I-751 removal of conditions filed before your 2-year expires, okay? Because you don't want to experience a gap and go out of status, because if you go out of status, you can be placed in removal proceedings at that point. Okay, so that's the answer right there. So for any questions related to can I apply for naturalization now, because I'm at this point, I've spent 6 months outside of the United States, and I've been here all these years. We don't do it this way, right? Like this fast answer. We would like to see your travel history. We literally will be doing some counting. We would like to see your passport and see all the times that you've spent outside of the United States to really sum it up for you and give you a more thoughtful answer, okay? A naturalization is that sensitive. We don't want you to apply for naturalization unless you're really eligible for it, okay? Freedom now. Type in freedom now. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, it's time to go. Okay, it's time to go, guys. I have a consultation starting in a few minutes, as a matter of fact. Friends, follow us on Instagram at McBean Immigration Law. If you don't like Instagram, go back to the dark ages with Facebook, which I don't like anymore. Oh, by the way, I'm on Facebook right now. Oops. You guys know that Facebook needs to catch up. So follow me mainly on Instagram. Friends, our phone number is 914-898-9488. Thank you so much for being with me. Join me live this week in the evening hours on Instagram and TikTok, where I will be doing more Q&A sessions. Watch today's video on, what's the topic again? Okay. How to locate someone who is detained by ICE. How do you locate this individual when they're detained by ICE? That's going out today. It's going to premiere at 5 o'clock today, Eastern time. Guys, I feel like your family. I know there's like almost 700 people watching, but you're like family. You know how I am. And I just want to be myself with you. We're here for you. We're genuine. We mean what we say, and we believe in freedom. Reach out to us, get on our calendar, and let's see whether we can assist you with your case. Thanks so much for being with me, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.